Hi, my name is Roman. I work as a product analyst for a company called Bini Game. I have been in this position for almost 2.5 years. And if I can help you with your question, especially connecting with the career of data analyst, I will be happy to do it right now.
Okay, hello, my name is David. I am from Georgia and I am fresh at Petron University. So my plan is to first ask you some questions
Mhm.
and then I want to review my LinkedIn, GitHub and portfolio website and most importantly to do some SQL mock interview.
I didn't prepare for some SQL interview right now, but let's talk about all this stuff before, and then we could, yeah.
Okay, I have some notes. So
Mhm.
when you applied for the first time, how did you know that you were job ready?
To be honest, I wasn't, and so what my story? I previously worked for 7 years as in media communications. Then I decided that I wanted to quit and I wanted to start my career in tech sphere. For me, it was more like easier to go to data sphere because I like graph, I like working with like Google tables, Excel, and so on. And then after I quit my job, I start to learn by myself at home. And after a month of this learning, I started to apply on this position. I was not ready, to be honest. I got a little rejection. So for during for 2 months, I received like 22 rejections. But from one to one, I received some invitation to technical interview, to home test assignment, and I tried to do it. Of course, after that, I received another rejections and so on and so forth. So, but after every applying, after every interview, I became better because I saw my mistakes, I saw my weak points, and then I try to learn better, to learn especially this stuff. My problem was with statistics because I hadn't it in university. I hadn't it in school. Yeah, so I have to learn it by myself, and I got some rejection because of my poor knowledge of statistics. But you will never be ready, to be honest. My advice is when you like receive some basic knowledge, you can start to applying, and maybe for some companies that you're not interested about. So if you received rejection from this company, it will be you will be not so sad about it because it's not some your dream job companies. Yeah, but you only receive some feedback about your knowledge after this applying on other jobs.
Okay, I read your article
Mhm,
about how a week is like for data analyst, but I still
mhm.
have some questions like how long does each project take? Like if a company needed some reports, how much time do I have?
It depends on the task. So usually, if you work with some product companies that have their own product, especially for example like mobile apps, mobile games, e-commerce sites, and so on, it will be no in ideal situation it will be no time that this project finished. So if we created mobile app application, we want to for this application to live forever, to earn money forever, to attract user forever, and so on and so forth. So projects in this case, like projects, it is this application that you're responsible for data in this project. But your task will be some smaller task. For example, we have some hypothesis. We wanted to increase prices in our subscription to earn more money. Your task will be to design A/B test, to launch this A/B test, to wait like I don't know how many, like 2 weeks, 3 weeks, or so on, and then analyze it and give some recommendation to your product team. It will be some task. It lasts so sometimes and so on. But during this time, you will have another task. For example, we launch new version of our application and we wanted to compare it with our previous version to understand is it became better or it became worse, and so on. So it depends on the amount of tasks that you have on the your team pace and so on and so forth. So
Okay.
there will be you for example, once a week I meet with my product team and we see on my task and we try to set some priority, because I know, for example, that this task it is very my team need the recommendation for this task, some analysis for this task. Of course it will be the first one and so on. There will be no some standard amount of time, how many hours I have to do this and this. Of course I will not be, I'm not lazy. I try to do it as quickly as possible, but I have to, for me my priority is trying to explain, for example, not only what happened, for example, we our conversion dropped, but why it happened. And this why part is the most complicated. You have to dig deeper. You have to understand what happened, why it is happened, and so on. So when, because okay, it is very good that you said, okay, our conversation in this A/B test we lose conversion, it's drop and so on. But your team will ask you why, and they wanted to know the answer on this question, because you're the only one person who have the access to database. Your product manager, your, I don't know, like game designer and all the people who not connected to data analytics, they don't have access to database. So you have to explain them why it is happened, why our conversion dropped, why our revenue is not so high as we expected, and so on. So I don't
Okay.
know. It depends on the test, but your team with the time, your team will use to know how many times you need for analyzing some A/B test, for analyzing some, I don't know, version comparison. So you will have some routine task, and you will know exactly how many times you need for this test. Of course, there will be some stuff like ad hoc analysis. So it's something that your team asks you once and will not ask in future. So it's only you have to answer this. For example, like Apple launched new operation system, and how many people version of operation system, what percentage of our customer already have this version of operation system. It will be like questions that you have to answer with the help of data, but it's so your team will not repeat this task again and again, because it's something that they need for one time. And of course, with this ad hoc research, ad hoc question, it will be like the amount of time that you have for the answer, it will be different, depends of the how much complicated this question is.
Understand. So next question will be, I have Python on my resume. So in
Mhm.
the interview, I think that I will only get asked like data-oriented questions. For example, pandas, matplotlib, numpy, or so my question is like, what kind of questions should I accept for Python in interview?
I think it's more about these libraries that you will use for data analysis. Yeah, so it doesn't have to be like about, I don't know what's like with Python, like Django framework and so on and so forth. So it have to be only Python for data analysis.
Okay.
Yeah. So even it's not, to be honest, it's not common for for technical interview question about Python special. It's more about SQL because it is more important and so on. So maybe in the case of live coding, it maybe you will receive some data set, and if we talk about Python, maybe some interviewer ask you to analyze this data set to provide some explanatory data analysis with the help of Python. Yeah, but it don't have to be beyond the scope of Python for data analytics, beyond like pandas, numpy, matplotlib, seaborn, and so on. So it's like data manipulation and data visualization. That's all.
Okay. So I have like speaking problems, like I sometimes stutter. So When presenting, do you think that this will have a huge effect, or it is okay?
No, it's if you talk like this, it's normal. So the most uh, so you have to have some communication skills
Yes.
to provide like results of your analysis, because okay, like in my view, in my case, for example, I spent like 25% time on meetings with my team and so on, and 75% with my analysis. And this 75%, so I analyze something, I have some task and so on, but then on the meeting, for example, once a week, I have to, or often I have to explain what I analyze, because okay, I can document like write it in the document and give my team, but if they have additional question, if they wanted to for me to research more some specific question in this analysis, I have to receive it, and I of course have to know that after my analysis, my team don't have any question, that I answer all of them questions, that they received all the data, all the analysis that they need for making some decisions. So it's still normal. So you have to explain it. You have to. It's more to explain it clearly, because for example, with my research, I have some, I don't know, like tens of different tables, some insights and so on. But my team have not so much time, and I don't have to explain every this table. I have to explain only the most important stuff, the most like the biggest insight that they have to understand with their features and so on, to like update this feature to for it to become better and so on. So it's normal to just explain calmly, explain one by one, but to tell only the most important stuff, not bother your team with everything that you done during this project and so on. For example, I have once a week, I have like half an hour with my team for me to, I just can talk for this half an hour whenever I want. So I wanted to like highlight some stuff, highlight some analysis, highlight some details and recommendation that I have from this task that I done for previous week. Yeah, and it is like for me, it is like requirement to be like not to go more in detail, but to like create explain whole picture with this feature. For example, why if we provide like some A/B testing and it failed, so our feature is not so good for our than it was like with in comparing with all design. So I have to explain why it's happened. So firstly, what happened? So what with our metrics, how they decline, and then why it is happening, what we can do, for example, with this feature, with this new detail in our application to become better, to maybe because developers and quality assurance engineers and artists spend time and companies spend money with in this to create this feature, and then of course I said like oh, this feature is not good, we have to remove it. But maybe with the help of data, you will see some like ideas that we can change this feature a little bit and it became better, because maybe like a close button, people didn't see this close button and we have done it bigger, or reverse, is our close button is very big, we have to create it smaller and so on and so forth. So it's more clear, simplicity and clearness that most important for data analysts in communication, but not like speaking abilities.
Okay. About Power BI, like I know basic tasks, like I can write simple measures, but I don't know like Power Query language. So, like, is this Power Query language important or not?
It's to be honest, I don't work with Power BI much now. If I have BI engineer in my team, but previously I worked with them a lot, with these tools a lot. Do you have some? So you already created some dashboards with the help of Power BI?
Mhm. Yeah, yeah, yes.
Yes. Yeah, so I think the most requirements is that you can work with Power BI to receive some data and to create dashboards. And with the help of, so if we talk about Power Query, there are a lot of helpful tips, like graphic user design. So you can do a lot of stuff with the help of this graphic user design without knowledge of language and so on. It's depend on the company. So the how much data analysts work with visualization, because as I said, in your company there can be like BI engineer whose main job will be to create dashboards and so on. So for me, of course, it is the better you know some tools, the better the biggest chances you have for hiring. Because for example, if there will be some other candidates and you like your knowledge of SQL will be all the same, and like your knowledge of other stuff, but someone work with Power BI wonderfully, so we're very fluent. Maybe he or she will have some additional points in before some recruiter or hiring manager. So of course, if you can learn it better, my advice is to learn it, and then you will see if in this company data analyst will not use this tool a lot, but maybe this is, you will reply to company who that work on Power BI or on Tableau, and your knowledge, your deep knowledge of Power BI will be not so valuable and so on. So you have to quickly learn Tableau to update your level. So it depends, but if you can update your knowledge, it will be better.
Okay. Let me check my notes.
Mhm.
Okay, I was okay. Okay, no. Questioning phase is done. Okay, let's
Mhm.
review LinkedIn.
Okay, so wait a minute, I will find your profile. Mhm. So I will share it. Okay, here it is, right?
Yes.
Where is your photo?
Oh, yes. I don't have any photo. I'm not very photogenic.
It doesn't matter. So you have to find one of them,
Okay.
because for me, it looks like some bot, not live human account and so on.
Okay.
With this, I'd like you advice to for you to create some coverage. Sometimes
Mhm.
people even write on it like data analysts. Sometimes people write some tools that they use and so on. Then, when you will work with in some company, a company usually have their like official covers that you can use, stuff like this. Also, you can add some link in this place. It have to be your portfolio like link. Let me um, wait a minute. I will stop sharing because I wanted to find my profile. Better communication. Yeah. Okay. It's me. Yeah, so it's linked like this. So you can have like 30 symbols where you can write something, for example, like my portfolio, my data analyst portfolio, and so on and so forth. So here
Okay.
you have to done it. Then okay, top skills. To be honest, like this pandas and matplotlib, my advice is just to write Python, and
Okay.
also you have one place for other tools, for example, like I don't know,
That's
like
smart.
Tableau or Google Sheets or so on.
Okay.
In this case, try to write something bigger and better. for explaining you and so on. For example, like data, why data is not from capital letter, like with the Power BI and so on. You can use, for example, ChatGPT for it, or you can look what other people write about themselves. But it's so small, so it's like
Okay.
something that you wanted to tell everybody about yourself, and it is not so big. Also, you like SQL, Python, data visualization tool, Power BI. It's look like you use only two sentences and like the same stuff in both sentences. So to tell more about yourself and so on. Activity. You didn't post any post. So my advice is to try to write from time to time about your educational stuff, about some projects that you already done, about your some thoughts about data analytics. So you have to be more, you have to stand out among others also with your media activity. I didn't see how many connection you have because
Zero.
yeah.
I don't think I have any
Yeah,
connections.
because I thought that it have to be some numbers, but in your case it is like they look like zero. So you have to connect to other, like you have to be interested in two types of people. First, it is data analysts who already work with some company, maybe some companies that you like, that you wanted to work in future with. And the second category of people have to be recruiters, HR managers, because like they may, if you connect to them, they could read your news if you will be active enough for posting your news, and also you could read their news feed, and sometimes recruiters write about some jobs that they have, like candidates that they wanted to find, and so on. So it will be like win-win situation for you. Yeah. So you have to do something with this activity. Okay. Education. Uh, did you finish some courses, some certification like, I don't know,
Yes.
Coursera, Udemy, Kaggle, and so on? So you can add it in license and certification
Okay.
stuff. Yeah, because it's look like you learn only in university, and
No.
like you don't learn in any like informal institutions like Coursera, Udemy, and so on.
Okay.
Okay, your projects, but how can I click on your projects? Because
Contact info. There's a link. I can. Forgot. I edit it, but I think I don't save it. I have links to directly to GitHub, but
Mhm.
I
Yeah, no,
forgot.
I said only like for someone who just land on your page. This person couldn't like click and see your project, because for in this case there will be no active link. But in project tab, I know that it have to be. For example, I don't remember if I, yeah. So like this show projects.
Okay.
Yeah, you
Okay.
can click. You can add this here, and for anyone could click and look at your code and what you've done here.
Mhm.
Yeah, about the skills. In my case, you it have to be more SQL, because I don't know, to be sure. To be honest, I don't know what's the difference between TSQL and just SQL. Oh, yeah, you have this one. So my advice is you have to set in higher in priority.
Because
Uh,
I passed the LinkedIn assessment, that's why I put it up there.
uh, I
TSQ.
I don't remember, to be honest, if I don't pass. Okay, okay, deal. Uh, Good. Other people. try to find at least a couple of people, your group mates and so on, who can also endorse your skills.
Okay.
Because for now it's no one who like endorse you that you already know these skills. The same with recommendation. So it have to be, I don't know. Did you have previously some work experience?
No,
Don't
no.
connect. No. Okay, just try to talk with your group mates. For example, you could write a recommendation for them, and they could write recommendation for you. It's don't have to be about data analytics. It's have to be about more about soft skills. That like you're good communicators, you're very you pay attention to details and so on and so forth. You have good sense of humor and stuff like this. So it's more about soft skill, but it's at least some proveness that other people could tell that you are comfortable to work with and stuff like this. And then when in future you will have some colleagues, then you will exchange from recommendations with your colleagues. But my advice is, so for now it's like a very single page, so it's only you that try to say that you are good enough for the data analyst job. But to be honest, for now I can't see any proveness because like I can't click on some projects. I don't see any certification. It's like the only social proveness that you pass this LinkedIn assignment. But to be honest, in internet, I could find answers on every of this task and so on. So it have to be more proveness, more social proveness, and more proveness with your projects that you have these skills. Because, for example, if someone randomly land on your page, so it will be no code, no projects, no like certification, and so on. So
Okay.
you have to work on it. Also, there is a tab like volunteering. I don't know if you engage in some social activity. Maybe you like work like helping animals or volunteering somewhere. It also will be good to add it if you have some activity like this. If you haven't, so it's like try to add some projects, try to add some clickable
Yes.
projects, yeah, and try to add some social proveness from others, from your group mates at least.
Okay. What about the projects?
Can you send a link on it?
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm. Uh, let's go from okay. I click on your account, the main page. So
No
also you
problem.
have, yeah,
Yes.
yeah, you have to add this. You also can could add some biography of
Okay.
yourself a little bit, so like your city, country, and so LinkedIn account, and so on. Also, what I see if I click on the main page, I think that you're very inactive. So it's
Mhm.
like your first commit was 1.5 months ago, and then you commit something one time, 7 times, then it's have to like 1.5 weeks passed. Then so it's like you see my advice is try to, for example, if you learn something, some SQL, some Python, you're working on some projects, try to create repository with this. If you don't want to share your code, maybe it's some like close education and you don't want to like commit it openly, you could create a public repository and also commit your code there, but no one can see your code. But at least in your activity tab, it will be more active. Because from my point of view, like I see someone who like from time to time working with data analytics, but have some long pause, for example, working on something, then 1.5 weeks pause, then working, then 1.5 pause, then also working, then 1.5 pause, and so on. So I don't know your situation, but in my view, it's not so consistency. So recruiter, if we talk about junior specialist, it have to be someone who like learning from day to day, whereas more systematically. But maybe you learn like every day, but I couldn't see it looking on your GitHub profile.
Yes, like the first project, the Georgian labor analysis, it took me like 2 weeks
Mm-hmm.
because the data was like not cleaned, so it was hard for me to clean and analyze. But what I was doing was like I made some changes and not published to GitHub. I was only publishing like only
The
last
final
version.
the final
Yes.
version. Yeah. So it's like have to be like your habit. For example, if you're working on some projects with connecting with code in Jupyter and so on,
Mhm.
so at the end of the day, when you like finish for today, you commit it to GitHub, and it will be like in security reason. For example, if with your laptop, like I don't know, like damaged, your project will be safe because, for example, in my view, in my situation, I work with my some working code, and I commit every evening. I commit it in my GitHub in private repository. And if something happened to my laptop, I don't have to remember all codes that I wrote for 2.5 years. I know that I could received it from GitHub, even if with my laptop, so my laptop will be gone.
Okay.
Uh, okay, so what's here is like yeah projects. It's two projects or one project.
It's two. One is the
Uh,
Georgian trade analysis and one is labor,
What you in your view is more important?
labor.
Labor. Okay, so you have to send a link, especially with this project that you think uh, more important than previous one. Because if
Okay.
you send link like this to all of your projects, recruiter or hiring manager always looked at worse one.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Labor. Okay. Uh, here is.
So data was in format of SPSS. So I used Python to convert it to CSV, and then I use this CSV file to connect to SQL database and clean and analyze it.
Mhm. So it's only you use Python only for like pre-processing, right?
Yes, yes.
Okay. Uh, let's see. It's PDF, so it's your final conclusion, right?
Yes, and this is not white in Power BI. It's all black, but I don't know
Mm,
why. But it came with white. You can go back and see a Novi Pro site, which you can directly interact with this project.
mhm. It is more visualization or like dashboard. So I could I can see some filters to, for example, choose some region and see all the visualization connecting to it. So it's like more like visualization, right?
Yes, but you can go to the projects page, and there's a link to Novi Pro where you can interact. Uh,
Mm,
One behind, go back one more time.
Back. So
Uh,
up or down?
up. Like where you can saw the two projects.
Oh. Mm-hmm.
And there is a link, Novi Pro.
And what it is?
First one. This is exactly same, but now you can interact.
Uh,
Click yes. The
mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Oh, to be honest, I never heard of this service.
Yeah, I saw this on the YouTube.
Mm-hmm. Uh, okay, but still, so what's it's in my view, it's not dashboards, it's more data visualization. So what I
Okay.
mean, what's the difference? Yeah, it's for example, dashboards. We create dashboards for other people who can ask some their question and receive some answers. So for example, yeah, it's like if I wanted to choose, I don't know your language, but if I wanted to choose this region,
Mm-hmm.
mm, okay, it's change, but okay, it's can be like filters, but to be honest, it is better to have this one like filter. So
Slicers. Yes. I know
yeah. So
what
you
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 mean.
have to you have to think what filters you can do. For example, like region, also I don't know, like
And
profession or so. I
yes.
don't familiar with the data set. Yeah, so it have to be like filter table tab, and where someone can like choose some details and see data about, especially about this in these details,
Okay.
right? Yeah. Uh, to be honest, it's hard to tell something not to be familiar with data set with it. So okay, let's talk. What's can you tell me what's your goal was in this project, and what's like maybe some insights, some interesting details you received after you create this
So
visualization?
I started this project because I thought that I would have an edge for my other than competitors, like to do some Georgian project. This was my first reason, and then when I got into the dataset, I found out that my region is the poorest. So I started to to explore it. I don't have any purpose. It was just in interest.
Mhm.
Like and
Okay, but what for example, to be honest, firstly, what come to my mind. Uh, Average get to work time. So I can understand.
minutes.
So I think, yeah, I think it's in minutes. It's in
It's in Georgian currency, lari.
yeah. It's
Hours,
also so yeah.
yeah,
You have to add like
yes,
this stuff because it hard to understand what's it. So it's like maybe even in here as explanation in bracelets. Yeah. So
mhm.
what's it's about, and also. Uh, what mean high rate? So it's like
Like
one fourth of percent.
yes,
It's
it's a
like
little low. Yes,
yeah.
but dataset was like only for 50,000 of people, and I wrote in my CV that the dataset may not be accurate. I am
Mhm.
so surprised, but I check it with SQL as well, and it's the same.
So it's you mean that people in this data set, like people who was hired were hired was 1 in 400 people.
No, 1 in 4.
But it's
Yes, it's
it's have to
because
be 25%, not
yes, yes,
zero
yes, yes.
0.25. Yeah, because
Most
it's too low. Yeah, 1 in 4 it's okay, but 0.25 it's too low.
yes.
It's 1 from 400. Yeah. Mm. So okay, you still didn't. So what's the insights? What's the like? For example, what you will wrote in like conclusions and so on about these data sets. So what?
Like I would rotate for my region to have more jobs, so people can earn mine, and for what capital city to improve some like what's it called, uh, like traveling traffic in capital cities. There is significant more traffic, so it would be better to solve it.
Mhm. Did you wrote somewhere this recommendation?
No, I didn't. I did not
Oh.
wrote it. I
Mhm.
analyzed it in SQL.
Yeah, but like you analyze it for future, for some conclusions and for some recommendation. Because you
Okay.
imagine yourself that you work for some like ministry of I don't know, like social force, or so ministry of labor force and so on. So for some ministry, or for some
Mhm.
local government and so on. So you have to like why company pay to data analyst, for them to like analyze data, but not only for analyzing, but for creating some recommendations, some conclusions, something that other stakeholders could make some decisions. So like
Mhm.
you create this part, but you also like you show that you know how to use Power BI and so on. But you also have to provide some conclusions, some recommendations, some for future, for some for your team, for example, for your future team to whom you will communicate your findings. You also have to like for now write down these findings, because for now you haven't any team
Yes.
to present for whom you have to present, but you have to do it here in your projects. So it have to be like you don't have you after every your projects have to be some conclusions, some recommendations in
Mhm.
ideal situation. Yeah.
Okay.
So it's shows that you not only know how to use Power BI, but you also have analytical mindset, and you know why you have to do all this stuff, not only to show that you could provide some
Yeah.
visualization. Yeah. Okay. Uh, I think with the
This
second
is
one.
project. I only use the pandas
Oh.
and
Mm-hmm.
the matplotlib.
Mm-hmm.
It's a small one.
Okay. It's ADA export import. It's better to have like headline, what it is, name of this
Yes, yes.
variable is like
Understand.
its type, but what's it mean? What's mean one? What's mean 0.2?
I think
Stuff
I
like
heard down. I forgot about it, but I think down there I changed it.
yeah,
Some
yeah. So
of
also
these
also
were.
also it is very hard to understand how much is it is. So like
Yeah.
0.3 or 0.27 and so on. So it's better to have data labels also here.
Mhm.
The same here. So I could look, it's like look like just normalization, no?
Okay.
So it's like
Okay.
the biggest one will be one, and the others other will be less.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
But I don't think, to be honest, that it's a lot give a lot of information. It's like said that okay, our what's it's like trading with the medicaments, it's not so big as the petroleum oils. But I don't know how much usefulness in this information.
Like yeah, I changed it.
Yeah,
I
also,
I
try to
noticed it.
try to find some style for your graph, because they're all different, and so on.
Okay.
There's like here, for the font here and font there is very different, and also it's hard to understand. Like, it's some year. I don't know what the year it is. I have to find out it in this
I
data
think it's
set.
2023.
Mhm. Mm, mhm. And also, the same stuff. So at the end of it, have to be some conclusions on why you
Yes.
work on this. So what information you wanted to, what's the main information. For example, if you have only like 2 minutes to explain me findings of this data set, what it have to be.
Okay.
Okay, so always keep with this in your mind. So always at the end of your every project, every analysis have to be some conclusions, recommendations. It depends on in this case maybe some only some conclusions. Yeah, so what it about, why you create this stuff, why you work on it, so what you wanted to say to your stakeholders who like give you this data set for your work.
Okay.
Okay. Okay.
Now, can we do some SQL mock interview?
My advice, I haven't prepared some questions, so I think let's try another one, so you can book another session like in 2 weeks. I think till this time I find some questions, some new data sets that was not in my YouTube channels for other people also could repeat this task after you. So and we could try. It's like only SQL, like for an hour mock interview. What do you think?
Uh, like for me, SQL is most important, but Excel, like in Georgia, or when I look at the job descriptions, like Excel is always there. So
Yeah, we can do it. I sometimes do it. So the same task, but firstly with the same data set. But firstly, you work with SQL to solve to receive some question, and then you work with usually at Google Sheets, but we could work with Excel to receive the same answer, but without SQL. So
okay,
will be easy. Yeah.
okay,
So
nothing anymore.
let's try. Yeah, let's try like this. So like you book another session, and I prepare some questions, some new data set, because I don't want to repeat
Yes.
previous one. Yeah. Okay. We'll
Okay.
do like this, and maybe till this time you could update your LinkedIn, and we could see if there's something left that you could update again. So you have like this 2 weeks, for
Yes.
example. Okay.
Okay. Goodbye. Thank you.
Yeah. Have a nice day. Goodbye. See you.